Okay everyone, welcome back to the channel for another video on Gran Turismo 7, and we are back with the current daily race B and some very unusual situation that is going on with the current daily race B. So we're going to go straight into the race, and you can see straight away there's some very suspicious lap times on the leaderboard. Now we're going to go into this race and we're going to see what goes on and see if people are using any exploits to gain an advantage. Now this was the first race we joined, we did a couple of them, and yeah, this race actually has pretty good potential for some quite close touring car style racing. Some, like, you know, side on side racing, a little bit of contact here and there, which you kind of put up with in Group 4 in these type of races. And yeah, it's got a lot of potential to be a really good race. Unfortunately, it does look possible like it has been ruined the whole week of Daily Race B by some extremely strange cheating. Now, if you do enjoy this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and let me know in the comment section what you think about the cheating that is going on in this race, because it's going to surprise you. So, let's start this race anyway. We're starting from P7, and we're going to try and work our way forwards and see if we can gain some positions and battle it out at the front. Now, I've not really set a proper lap time, although it's hard to judge because we've obviously been jumped back by people that are using an exploit to gain an advantage in the time trial. But what you're not going to expect is that the exploit is actually going to work in the race situation as well. So let's see what's going on here. We've got a lot of drivers at the front, obviously, that have set a lap time that they're actually not going to be that fast. So we've got a good chance of being able to overtake quite a few drivers here, because they're obviously going to be a bit slow as we go in a little bit deep into the corner. We get a little bit of a hit from behind, probably my own fault there. Went a bit too aggressive into the corner, managed to save it though, and end up back in P7 and don't lose anything. So yeah, went a bit aggressive into the corner, braked a bit late, and got hit from the car behind that did the same thing really. So my own fault really, but just keep an eye on P6 here. So P6 has just gone into the pit lane exit from one of the other tracks. Now keep an eye on the track map. He's now reappeared on the main straight. No, I am not joking. This is an actual thing that is happening on Daily Race B this week, and people are exploiting it. So he is now in P1, and a long way in the distance you can see he's way up there and miles ahead now. Now I think some of these people were possibly testing this out because they wanted to see how it worked, because we were live streaming and we knew about this. So some of these drivers are testing it out just to see what's going on with it, but some of them are obviously exploiting it because they're just doing it. They've been doing it all day, because apparently it's been happening all day. I haven't done much Daily Race B, so I wasn't sure of that. As we go past P5 on the right hand side here, we've got the run on the Subaru. This is one of the other drivers that has obviously done the exploit as well, and now we're into the top 5. However, just look how far ahead P1 is now. He's just gained, I'm guessing, around about 15 seconds or more from that simple exploit of going into the pit lane and doing something. Now, I am going to show you a little bit further on what exactly they are doing as we run a little bit wide, but I had to kind of go wide to give Fabian there a little bit of space as he came through. So lost out on that position, but managed to hold on to P7. Now you can see yellow flags are out, and that's because we've got another driver doing the exploit again, as we get a lot of side-on contact there into the barrier, a few other cars into the barrier as well. But yeah, the yellow flag system there because people are pulling into that pit lane, and you can see he's done it again. Keep your eye on that track map in the top right-hand corner, and he is now going through turn 1. So this exploit is crazy, and it's probably one of the most crazy exploits I've seen in a racing game, to be honest. It's just unbelievable, and I think PD are going to have to sort it out. Now we actually tested this out on some other tracks, and it does look like this exploit is pretty much this track only. So watch what he does. This is how he is doing it. He's going into the pit lane exit of the other version of the track, the new layout that's been added. He goes into the pit lane, sits there, and basically what this is going to do is reset him to track, but it's going to reset him to track on the start finishing line, and there are no sector splits in between that space, so it doesn't recognize it as cheating. So he's then going to go over the line on a 1 minute 18 there and gain a massive amount of time. So that is how he is doing it. So it's absolutely bizarre. I'm sure PD are going to have to reset the whole leaderboard and fix this bug, because there's no point even racing this Daily Race B, which is a massive shame, I have to say, because there was a lot of potential for some quite fun racing around this track. It actually does give decent racing in Group 4, which is a shame. But yeah, now there are going to be more than one drivers doing this, and there's going to be more than one negative effect of people doing this in the race, as you are going to see in this race. I mean, it's quite comical for a video perspective because, yeah, it's just crazy what's going on, really. So we're up to, well, down to P10 now in this race as we get overtaken by the Subaru of Rivs there, where we run a bit wide. But we're going to go back up to P9 now, where someone has had a penalty. That's going to jump us up a position. But you can see there is a lot of potential for some crazy racing in this race, and I think it's a big shame that this exploit has been found. I have no idea how people find these exploits. I mean, it's baffling to me because it's not something I would think of doing, but then there's loads of things. As we see another car there on the right hand side going for the exploit. You can see there we're up to P8, but just keep your eye on our position now. We're in P8, we've just dropped down to P9 without being overtaken, and we're going to get someone else drop another position here. So keep your eye on it again, down to P10, and someone else I think is actually going to do it there, and we're down to P11. So this is absolutely crazy. We are getting overtaken without being overtaken. I think that's a new one for Gran Turismo, to be honest. So skipping ahead to lap 4, and what you're going to witness now is a massive negative effect of what that is doing. It is causing big issues because the yellow flag is out. Now another driver is going to pull over to try and do this exploit. And because of the yellow flag system, Rivs in front of us gets a penalty for overtaking on the yellow flag when that car slowed down and pulls in. And Rivs isn't the only one. You're going to see up ahead that there's more than one driver that has just picked up 3-second penalty purely because they're cheating in this daily race. It's absolutely insane what is happening in this week's daily race B. So watch as we come around this corner. You can see there's another driver up there on the right, and there's another driver that also got the 3-second penalty for overtaking under a yellow flag. I think it's one of the yellow Subarus up ahead. So as we come in the braking zone, you can see the car on the right. When we get a bit closer, it pops up there. So 3 cars being given an overtaking penalty because people are exploiting on the track. So yeah, I'm sure PD are going to have to get on top of this one and get this fixed, because although quite entertaining and funny to see, I think it's ruined Daily Race B this week. And there's a lot of people that enjoy doing Daily Race B because it's a little bit shorter. It's, you know, sometimes a combination that's a little bit easier to learn. And yeah, there's a lot of people that like doing it. So I really hope for their sake that PD get this sorted. Obviously, I will be doing Daily Race C when I race this week because that combination is quite fun for me anyway. And I like Spa. So yeah, I've got Daily Race to C to do anyway. So we're going to skip now again and keep your eye on the position again as we're losing more positions as people are exploiting away. And look how far behind. We're over 1 minute behind the leader in this race, as he's been doing it every single lap. So we're actually heading to get lapped here, I think. I can't really work it out. I mean, it says we're now 50 seconds behind, so we're not actually going to get lapped. It keeps changing around because I think it's playing with the system of... I don't think the Delta knows what's going on with where they actually are on the track, but we're about 50 seconds behind the leader right now and in P9. But yeah, look, crazy. 48 seconds, and it was showing over 1 minute at one stage, but it's obviously messing up a little bit as it's getting confused with itself. But we're going to follow behind P8 now, see if we can gain a position to finish in the middle of the pack before the end of this race. So let's see if we go for a move, but we're down to P9, so you know, let's see if we can get this position done. We're going to have a little look up the inside. Can we go for a send into this corner? We're going to go for a nice send up the inside, break it, make it sure we slow down on the apex, and we get a nice position up into P8. So not too bad, all things considering with what was going on. We're going to go over the line, and you see Wind there. He was testing out the thing and actually waited for everyone to go back past him, so fair play for that. He was just testing it out to see what people are doing and didn't want to gain any advantage from it, so decided to let everyone back through. So we're going to go into another race, and again, you can see we've got another lobby of people that have done the exploit. Now, this race was done before the one you've just seen, so this is going to highlight why I think this race is ruined, because there is potential in this Daily Race B, because there is some good entertaining racing, some very British touring car actions going on. You can see a lot of side scraping, side by sides, sends into corners, some stuff that I think is a little bit too far that you're going to witness. But we're going to go over the grass there as we go a little bit wide out the corner. We're going to actually drop down to P8 there, so a little bit of a mistake straight away, but let's see if we can make our way forward to the front. But one thing we do know is that, again, the cars at the front, if they're going to not exploit, we're probably going to be faster than them, because they've probably only got to that position through using the exploit in time trial. So let's see how this goes. Is anybody going to do the exploit on lap 1? As we come through the bank corner, we've got a car off into the gravel. Very easy to do that. and that promotes us up to P7. So gained a position so far. Now we're following the, I think it's the Genesis there in front of us. A lot of four-wheel drive cars being used for this daily race B, because the four-wheel drive car tend to dominate any location pretty much in Group 4. One day we'll get a BOP that actually opens up some different cars. It would be lovely to race these races with Ferraris, McLarens, Jaguars, Mercedes. I'm really hoping that one day that is going to be a thing on GT7, but at the moment four-wheel drive are king and you just can't beat them. So we're going to finish lap 1. We're up a position and we've got quite a close battle going on in the lead there, so let's see if we can get amongst them. So skipping to the end of lap 2, midway to the end of lap 2, and we can see there's a little bit of chaos going on in front of us. One car's gone a little bit further wide. Car in front of us nearly loses control, and we're going to get that P6 off of the Genesis there, I think it is. And yeah, now we're getting closer to the lead group as well. So this is getting very close. You can see just how close the racing is, and this is why kind of disappointed that this race has been ruined by this extreme exploit, because there is potential for so much fun on this daily race B. Even if it's just doing a couple of races, have a bit of fun from the back of the grid, you know, have some good racing, bit of side-on contact and stuff like that. You know, these are the type of cars and races where you do get a bit of contact and you kind of have to just let it go. But we're going to follow behind P6 now, and you can see there's a penalty up ahead. There's a bit of bumping going on up there, and we're going to try and just stay in the racing line. No point following slipstream there, because by the time they come back over, they're going to lose that amount of time anyway. So into the braking zone. That was a bit too aggressive from P5. Ends up clipping the Alpha. We're going to take advantage of that. Up the inside, and that's going to put us up into P4. So 2 positions gained, and the car in front of us has got a penalty. So we might be able to challenge for a podium in this race. So let's see, as we work our way down on the power zone, can the Alpha manage to catch up to that driver with the penalty? Now, the Alpha does seem like the strongest car for this track because of its acceleration. Now, one thing I will say, though, it seemed to be, before all this exploiting was going on, it was probably the strongest car in time trial. That's because you don't run fuel in time trial. However, I think in race pace, I think the Subaru is pretty close to it because of the fuel that's been added to the car that slows the Alpha down a little bit. So bear that in mind if they manage to fix this week, because I do think there's more than one car in race conditions that can compete. However, in time trial, the Alpha is king. As, again, a little bit of contact between P3 and 2, we're going to take advantage. Up the inside and up into a podium position. So now we're in a podium position. Nobody is doing the exploit as far as I can see so far, which is really interesting. No one's taken advantage of it. We're on lap 4, and we have not had a driver that has tried it. Maybe they knew we were streaming and didn't want to do it on stream, but it'll be interesting if anyone decides to take advantage. Now, this guy in front doing a lot of weaving, a little bit too much in my regard. I think you do one move to the right, then back to the race line, then you can go defensive for the corner. That's fair enough. But weaving around like a snake in the straight line, it's a no-no. It's against, you know, they do mention it in, I think, the Gran Turismo video. You shouldn't do it, but yeah, it's a bit frustrating when someone does that in front of you, especially in a slipstreaming place. So we're going down into this right-hand corner now, and we see Fabian's gone wide. That's going to give us a run up the inside. Can we go for a move here? He breaks a little bit late there. That's going to give him the ability to stay nice and tight there, and we're going to take that position and up into P2 with just 2 laps to go. So a good fun race, 2 cars battling behind us, and this is the type of racing that we're missing out on this week. Now we're going to skip to lap 5. And we're going to be going for a move for P1. We're trying to work him a little bit so that we can get a run while we're in the slipstream. But you can see, unfortunately, the Alpha in the slipstream just doesn't have that speed to get past the Subaru. So that Subaru on top end is just a little bit too quick. So can we go for a move around the outside? We're going to brake as late as we can and then tuck in underneath. And we're going to do a nice cut back there and now try and outpower him all the way up the hill. But we can see the other Alpha in P3 is gone on the inside. And we're going 3 wide into this corner. We get a little bit pushed out wide there. And now we're on the apex here. And I don't think we had much space there. I don't think we could have done anything different. We gave him space. But yeah, we were on the curb. Nowhere to go. And he turned in on us. So not really much we can do on that one. He's ended up running a bit wide. And he's down to P4 now. And now we're in P2. And chasing for the win of this race. Can we try and get a win? Now we're going to skip ahead a little bit further on in this race. Up until the back straight on the final lap. Now this is kind of frustrating. I'm going to say to you people, don't do what P1's going to do here, because you shouldn't be doing driving like this. So he's going to try and break the slipstream by just weaving all over the track. And do you know what? I just thought, no, I'm not dealing with that. And I thought, do you know what? You're going to get sent into this corner, because if you're going to weave like that, I'm going to send one up the inside, because that's frustrated me a bit. And yeah, we go for a move, a little bit of contact there, and make the move up into P1. If he didn't do that weaving, I would never have sent that from there, but weaving like that in a straight line, it's not good luck. Don't do it. You can do 1 or 2 just to try and break the slipstream, but weaving all over the straight, it's a little bit too far in my personal opinion. But keep your eye on the track map, chat, because we are going to witness our first driver who is going to try and do the exploit for gaining a few positions. So we've got a driver right at the back, all on his own. I think he's down in like P12 or something like that, P13, and he's actually going to pull over and try and do it. So keep your eye on it here. He's pulled over on the pit lane exit, you can see, and then as we come around this corner, he is nearly going to steal the victory of us. You can see he's there in front of us. However, he's got no acceleration, and we are going to take that position and luckily still get a P1. But he nearly managed it from all the way from the back, taking it on the final lap. That could have been quite a funny ending to the race, but luckily we take the P1. But yeah, it's a shame this race seems to be ruined in terms of the rest of the week, unless PD can put a fix in. They might have already done one. I do not know. I haven't been back on to check it, but this is what has been happening on day 1 on Monday. Hopefully it gets sorted so we can all enjoy Daily Race B for the rest of the week. But anyway, if you did enjoy that video, hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll be back with more in the future.